Hello, this is Representative Tim Leonard. Today is the Monday, the 2nd of October 2017, the first day of the governor's special session that he called in order to fix a problem with a bill that was already illegal. It was a multi-subject bill when Colorado Constitution only allows a single subject bill, and for the reason that we are encountering today. Out of the 7 issues that were included within the bill, there were some winners and losers, and the problem came in when the drafters found that one of the issues, which was RTD and the cultural facilities not being able to gather their sales tax on marijuana inside their districts that encompass about 8 of our 64 counties, they thought that was going to lose money for them, and therefore they wanted the legislature to go back and fix and exclude them from the exemption. And so basically, if you can figure all that out, the real issue comes back that 4 years ago, they wanted, this was the House, the Senate, and the governor, all were controlled by one party, and they wanted to be able to increase the revenues for those 2 districts, and so they put them on parity with the state sales tax. So anytime that the state charged something, tax on something like candy and soda pop, which was at the time, RTD and the cultural facilities wanted to be able to tax at the same time. Well, this time, in this last bill, the state decided that it didn't want to collect the 2.9% tax on marijuana because it was raising the tax on another special tax from 10% to 15%. So a 5% increase, they figured, well, we'll just give them a 2.9% break. So it was a 2.1% increase total. The problem was because these 2 districts had parity with the state, they lost out on the 2.9 but didn't gain in the 10 to 15% increase that took place. So now they wanted us to go back and fix that as a legislature. The problem is, that it was clearly shown and argued, was that, well, it's okay for the legislature to take down a tax and get rid of 2.9, but to increase it or impose it on something else, even if the voters had voted on it already, was a violation of the Constitution. And that's Article 10, Section 20, that says clearly that any new tax or extension of tax for any district that yields a net increase in tax revenue would be considered a tax policy change that would need a vote of the people. And that cannot be done by the governor wanting it, or even state legislators thinking that the intent was otherwise. It has to go to the vote of the people. So even though it passed this bill, there was a bill in the Senate, there was a bill in the House that was introduced today. The Senate bill died in committee, and the House bill had a very long committee. I got to listen to part of it. I wasn't on the Finance Committee, but it was all the usual suspects about how this $6 million that RTD is not collecting is going to impair services. Of course, they left out the part that the RTD's total revenue already is $1.257 billion, and that's billion. And they were losing about $6 million a year, and this was going to be devastating for them. Now, to put it in context, that is, they have revenues that come in at a rate of $3.5 million a day. So that's less than 2 days of operating revenue that RTD would miss out on, and it's less than half of 1% of their budget. And we don't think that needs a fix. And so anyway, they should be able to live without it. Of course, it passed out of the House Finance Committee today because that is a majority of the Democrats who all voted for it. Almost all of the Republicans voted against it except one, and now it moved to second reading today, which it passed again by voice vote. Majority of the Democrats did, and tomorrow morning we'll see third reading by the House, and then it'll go over to the Senate, which will be assigned in another committee. So it's too bad that we have to spend so much time of our own personal time here. You know, we only meet as a legislature for 4 months out of the year, and for us to get called back from our families and our jobs, it's on last minute notice. It's a major effort. Everybody's got a story that they missed out on, whether it's plane trips or other obligations that they had in order to be here for this issue that could have and should have been worked out in a different way, if at all, if it needed to be fixed at all. So there's our report from the Capitol today, and look forward to tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.